Are air traffic controllers too stressed in the aftermath of the first deadly U.S. airline disaster in decades? There are new concerns about the safety of military and commercial aircraft operating too close for comfort in the cramped Washington, D.C. airspace.
Chief Transportation Correspondent and pilot MayCay Beeler explains. MayCay, what's going on?
Yeah, so I've got an update. I reported on this last week. See if you remember, it was that near miss that involved a military plane and a Delta jet. They got dangerously close to one another, and this happened just one day before the 2-month anniversary of the American Airlines fatal midair crash with an Army helicopter over the Potomac River. And this incident happened in the same airspace. So this close call happened when a U.S. Air Force T-38 military jet like this one came within 100 feet vertically of a passenger plane. A Delta Airbus had just taken off from Reagan's Washington National Airport, and the encroaching T-38 jet, it was already airborne, flying at 350 miles per hour, one of a group of 4 jets traveling over Arlington National Cemetery for a flyover. That's when the too close for comfort proximity, it triggered an altitude alert in the Airbus's cockpit, directing its pilots to avoid a collision. The Airbus and military jet crossed paths just seconds apart. Okay, here's the update. CNN reports a federal investigation is zeroing in on an air traffic control communications breakdown that led to the military jet, coming within mere seconds of colliding with the airliner. CNN sources say the communications failure appeared to occur when an air traffic controller in the Reagan Tower failed to hold departing flights for 5 minutes as planned, leading up to the military flyover. You need to understand a short pause in departures from the Washington, D.C. airport. That is standard protocol for Arlington Cemetery flyovers. Yet, for whatever reason, it didn't happen. It was reported that 2 other commercial flights departed after the Delta flight, both receiving a cockpit collision alert that's known as TCAS, or Traffic Alert and Collision Avoidance System. Wow.
Wow, yeah, this is scary news, very concerning.
Oh.
What was the reaction from the FAA?
Oh, well, it's not good. So the apparent failure shocked officials who say, oh my gosh, if this happened, well, what else could happen? And the FAA, of course, is investigating the incident. They responded by deploying a, quote, critical incident stress management team to the control tower, and this is to provide confidential support for staff. And of course, the NTSB is also investigating.
Any other concerns that has come out of this?
Yeah, so Republican Senator Ted Cruz, he oversees the FAA. And he says a serious communication breakdown, this is horrible. It's the latest in a string of mishaps. This signals that air traffic control is under extreme stress.
You have been talking about this for over a year now. What are some of the possible reasons for the stress you have?
So some people suggest PTSD. So we're not necessarily talking about the controller that was working the tower the day of the Potomac accident. That was one controller working 2 jobs. But other controllers in the Reagan Tower, they had a front row view of the Potomac River, the recovery efforts, pulling the wreckage out, pulling the bodies out, and seeing this every day. You know, that stress in itself, that can be a form of PTSD. So they're thinking, are the controllers on edge? Are they distracted? Are they not themselves? Remember last week I reported on a fist fight in the tower. And they think maybe that's because they're on edge. You know, things just aren't right. So the good news about that is, and I reported last week, crisis management and counseling now is being given to the DCA controllers, so that may help. Now also got to remember, this is a shortage of controllers, so many of them are working 6 days a week, 10-hour days.
Wow.
And you know, it's going to be a while before this can be fixed, even though they are sending more controllers now and more supervisors. Slowly but surely things are improving, but there's a lot to be done.
Wow, yeah, this is serious. All right, MayCay, thanks. Appreciate that.